I'm thrilled to have this opportunity because I would very much like to be part of helping to redesign the future of business. And so I want to talk to you specifically about that. And I want to talk to you this evening about 3 aspects of redesigning the future of business that I don't notice that many other people focusing on, and that I personally feel very strongly about. I want to talk to you about structure, I want to talk to you about money, and I want to talk to you about discomfort. So, what I mean when I say that I want to talk to you about structure is because, you know, we are living and working in an extremely turbulent world, and many people are really struggling to see what the future is in their sector. And one of the things that people often fail to see is that you cannot do new world order business from an old world order place. Virtually all companies and organizations and brands are old world order places. And what I mean by that is that their systems and processes and structures come from a time when the process used to be linear. So, you know, in my own industry, marketing and advertising, once upon a time, the process was you shot the TV commercial, then you shot the print ads, then you did everything else, which included that funny thing called a website. These days, it's no longer like that, but the systems and processes and structures still are. And the really depressing thing about that is that it doesn't actually matter how brilliant any of you think I am. It doesn't matter how innovative and disruptive anything I say to you tonight is. It doesn't matter what fantastic, inspirational, exciting new future-forward ideas, whatever I say may inspire in your brains. If you go back to the office tomorrow morning and plug all of that innovative, disruptive thinking and all those inspirational ideas back into the same old world order systems and processes, you will get the same old world order crap out the other end. So, you have to restructure yourself to own the future in business. But in order to restructure yourself, you absolutely have to blow yourselves up and start again. And I say that because the future is not about adding bits on. Too many industry sectors suffer from that syndrome that is collaborative competition. Collaborative competition is where everybody in a sector competes with everybody else in the sector by doing exactly the same thing everybody else in the sector is doing. And that, by the way, is a very dangerous situation to get yourselves into, because that is a situation that allows innovation and disruption to come in from the outside. Or as somebody put it very well in a quote from the Harvard Business Review about a year ago, if your strategies are simply aligned to what everybody else is doing, be sure a single business bullet will take you all down. And the problem is, in every sector, the way collaborative competition happens is that people start out with an idea of what they want their business to be. And then they go, ooh, those guys over there doing this, we better do that too. Oh, now they have that division, we better stick that on. And over time, you morph into something you never intended. And that's why you have to blow yourselves up and start again. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking it's very easy for her to say that. You know, she can just stand up there. But actually, blowing yourselves up and starting again is a lot easier than you'd think. Particularly because actually that's not a choice, it's a necessity. Everywhere in the world, everybody is massively financially crunched. Every market has experienced severe financial downturn. Everybody is fighting a war of attrition where you are having to lay people off, cut costs, strip things back. And so all I'm talking about is actually turning that necessity into a virtue and an opportunity. So, I'll give you an example of how you can do that. I get a lot of people coming to me for help and advice on life stage crises, career crises, you know, business venture questions, you know, points at which they don't know how to take their business forward, points at which they don't know how to take their own lives forward. And I always ask those people to do the same 2 things. And interestingly, they're the same 2 things you should do, whether you are a person or a business. So the first thing is, identify what it is that you absolutely love doing, that you're passionate about, which, by the way, is usually what you are therefore very good at. And if you're in a job at the moment, look at everything you do in that job and be ruthless. Strike everything you hate about that job from the record and focus in on what you absolutely love doing and you're passionate about. And by the way, when you conduct this exercise, quite often what you really love doing, what you're passionate about, is not necessarily numbers 1, 2, and 3 on your job spec. So number 1, identify what it is that you absolutely love doing. And then number 2, identify the conditions under which you most love doing it. So you might go, I love doing this, I'm passionate about this. I particularly love it when I only do it between these hours. I really love it when I only do it working with these kinds of people. I really love it when I only do it working for these kinds of clients. Maybe you particularly love it when you only do it from this one location or these 2 locations. And then design an opportunity, a job, a venture around those 2 things. Because then it never feels like work, because you are doing what you most love doing in the circumstances in which you most love doing it. Now, those are the same 2 things that you should do if you're a business that has lost its way as much as a person. Identify what it is that your company, your agency, your business, your venture really loves doing, is passionate about. Your core competence, your reason for being. And then identify the conditions under which you most love doing it. Identify the clients you want to work with that you know will enable you to do your best work. Identify the ways in which you would like to do what you're doing. And when you go through that exercise, actually, you end up with a venture that results in a much happier working life for you and your employees, and one also that is massively more cost effective. Because when you go through the exercise, you strip out whole layers of cost and overhead. And then that enables you to design your own business and your own future around what you would like it to be. And again, too many people don't think like that. People go, oh, there's this thing called business, and it has these rules and norms and conventions, and we have to adhere to them. Your business can be anything you want it to be. So to give you my own example, when I launched my startup, IfWeRanTheWorld, a couple of years ago, I said to my team, I want us to design our own venture around the working lives that we would like to live. I want us to innovate in every aspect of how we design and operate this as a business venture as much as the actual web platform itself. And so, for example, I said to my lead tech guy, Jason, I want us to design the web platform for IfWeRanTheWorld so we can operate on a very lean core infrastructure, so that if, as we hope one day, fingers crossed, we grow and scale, we never have to grow and scale with it. I no longer want to run that kind of a company. And what I meant by that was I spent years as an advertising agency CEO running the kind of company where, as you acquired more clients and added more business, you had to hire more people, you had to expand into bigger premises, you had to bring in more resources. I never intend to be in that position again. And I'm designing my own businesses so I never have to be. I demand extraordinary talent. I will only work with extraordinary talent, and I will hire extraordinary talent wherever I find it. The rest of my team is not based in New York, where I am. We have one person in Seattle, one person in Portland, one person in Montreal. We remote work. The Skype video call has transformed my business life, and it's free. We obviously come together for key nodes of the process, but what that means is we don't need an office. We don't need those overheads. We work out of my apartment, their apartment, to coffee shops, hotel lobbies. We're a very future-forward business. You can design your business around the working life that you would like to live. So start with structure. Literally, you cannot do anything. You cannot do the kind of business you want to do until you redesign the structure through which you do it. The second thing I want to talk about is money, because everything I've just said equally applies to your business model. Too many people think that there are a set number of business models, and when you start a business, when you operate a business, you have to take one of those business models, you have to use the same business model your industry has been using for centuries. Your business model can be anything you want it to be. Your business plan doesn't have to be 20 pages of closely written TypeScript with Excel spreadsheets. It could be one sheet of paper where, as long as you know how you want to make money, that's good enough. And by the way, that's the key question. When it comes to designing a business model, ask yourself, how would I like to make money? My motto in life is less work, more money. That's what we should all get to. Less work, more money. So how would you like to make money? And then design your business model around that. I get very frustrated with the two knee-jerk reactions I always get in the tech world when I ask tech entrepreneurs the question, what's your business model? Knee-jerk reaction number one, advertiser funded. To which I go, I come from the advertising industry. There aren't enough advertisers to go around all the tech ventures that say their business model is advertiser funded. The second knee-jerk reaction, by the way, is no business model. Build it and they will come, hit critical mass, sell it on to somebody else who will work out how to monetize it. That doesn't work either. I'm old-fashioned. I design my ventures around business models designed to make money from day one. Shock horror how old-fashioned of me. So your business model can be anything you want it to be. I designed the business model for IfWeRanTheWorld to be universal, democratic, transparent, very, very simple and eminently affordable. And I did that for 3 reasons. The first is that years ago, I read a great quote in the Harvard Business Review where somebody, I can't remember who, said, the single most destabilizing dynamic in any organization is a sense of unfairness. And they're absolutely right. So I designed our business model so that what everybody pays us is based on the same principles. The absolute amounts differ based on the amount of work that brands ask us to do. But the fundamental principles by which we calculate fees are the same for everybody. I designed my business model to be transparent because, and it's funny now, but several years ago when I was concepting IfWeRanTheWorld, which is a business designed to be a business of the future, do good and make money simultaneously. And by the way, to do good and make money simultaneously, not in the way that most companies do it now, which goes, we make money over here, and then we do good by writing checks to causes to clear our conscience. But the New World Order way of we make money because we do good. We find a way to integrate social responsibility into how we do business on a day-to-day basis that therefore makes it a key driver of future growth and profitability. Now, funny enough, several years ago when I was concepting IfWeRanTheWorld, a lot of people said to me, oh, Cindy, you can't possibly create a business out of doing good. You've got to be a non-profit. And I went, screw that, I want to make money. But okay, so I'm going to design my business model to be completely transparent so that I can open the kimono at any time and go, here's how we make money. We've got nothing to hide. And I designed my business model to be radically simple. And that's because I never wanted to have to worry my pretty little head about it. And what I mean by that is, I again spent years as an advertising agency CEO having a really, really hideous time around money. Every year, renegotiating every single client compensation agreement from scratch, often with new people, lots of fraught meetings in conference rooms, lots of argy-barges across the boardroom table. I never want to do that again. I want to design a business model that is so simple, I can hold it in my head at any one time, and I can know exactly what I'm making without even having to open an Excel spreadsheet. So in the same way, you can design your business model to be anything you want it to be. The business model for IfWeRanTheWorld, by the way, is what I believe all business models of the future should be. Shared values plus shared action equals shared profit. Gumroad monetizes links. Gumroad is like Bitly monetized. So essentially, you can use Gumroad to sell anything you want to online. You could sell a blog post. You could sell a photograph. You could sell a video. You could sell a piece of information. You could say to 50 of your friends, I've got a really juicy piece of gossip about somebody we all know, and if every one of you pays me $1, I'll tell you, and it's behind this link. That changes everything. I believe that everybody should realize the value of what they create. And I feel that particularly strongly because my background is theatre and advertising. Two areas where ideas and creativity are massively undervalued, even by the creators themselves. So I believe that when you create something that gives people pleasure, you should absolutely see a financial return on it. And the more people it gives pleasure to, the greater the financial return you should see. So I would really urge all of you, redesign your business models and really look at the future of money and payments look at, and there are a number of gathering places around the world, conferences that are about the future of money. Look at the startups in this area. They are doing really interesting things that too much of the world is not paying attention to. And that can really explode and generate new business models. And then the last thing I want to talk to you about is discomfort. So it's very comfortable working with people like us, like ourselves. It's very comfortable hiring people like ourselves. It's very comfortable championing and promoting people like ourselves. And I'm saying that to the men in this room, because the future of business is female informed. Business has grown up over the centuries as a male-centric construct. Unsurprising, because for centuries we women were not allowed to do it. So it's grown up around a male leadership model, command and control, male business values. The future is about bringing a female perspective to business and infusing it and informing it with feminine business values and feminine leadership models. And by the way, the future is not women then running everything instead of men. The best future is one that men and women build together equally. But when you are an all-male leadership team or a predominantly male leadership team, when you are male management, like I said, it's very comfortable to work with people like you. It's very comfortable to hire people like you. It's very comfortable to champion and promote people like you. Because actually, working with women requires discomfort because it's about working with the other. We operate differently from men. We ask different questions. Actually, quite often, women ask the tough questions that you don't want to hear, ranging from, what are you thinking? Where is this relationship going? To, why are we spending money on this? Why does everybody in the room go all quiet when this person is part of the meeting? Women ask questions like that. That's why the best team in any business is gender equal, because that allows for a diversity of approaches and perspectives and thinking. Out of discomfort comes greatness. And, you know, I make that point because I come from advertising. I operate in the world of technology. Both are massively male-dominated, and both suffer from what a great male friend of mine called the closed loop of guys talking to guys about other guys. When you break that loop and you invite in discomfort, and you invite in women, and you invite in different perspectives and different points of view and different values and different leadership styles. And by the way, the female leadership model, collaboration, consensus building, community, that's what the future is about. And the interesting thing too is that the future of business, redesigned by women as much as men, results in a future that men will be a lot happier living and working in. So one of the things that I would like to see is the future of business redesigned around parenting. Note, by the way, I don't say motherhood, I say parenting, as something both genders do equally. I would like to see, and by the way, I'm childless, never wanted them, extraordinarily happy I don't have them, but I really like other people's. But I say this on behalf of all women. I would like to see the corporate structure redesigning itself around parenting and fundamentally blowing itself up at the core and redesigning itself. So again, not stick on, not, oh, we have a creche. Oh, we have flexible working hours for mothers. No, redesigning itself around the fact that parenting is something both genders do equally, and men would welcome the opportunity to be able to factor into their working lives for a happier family and personal life as much as women. So I'm not going to talk any longer because I'd love the chance to answer any questions that you guys have. But those were the three things I wanted to really focus on, because I noticed they're not things that other people spend a huge amount of time talking about. Structure, money, and discomfort. Embrace all of those and rethink the current model. My favorite quote of all time is Alan Kay, who's one of the fathers of computer science, who said, in order to predict the future, you have to invent it. I am all about inventing the future. Too many people believe the future is something that happens without us and rolls us all over in its wake. I'm all about decide what you want the future to be and make it happen. And every single one of you in this room has the power to do that. Because trust me, whatever sector you work in, nobody else is. So you've got a fantastic opportunity to go, you know, again, ask yourself, what would I like the future of my business to be? And then design it accordingly. Good luck. Thank you.